The moment I lifted my garage door, a voice cut through the quiet like a blade. "You there? Step away from that vehicle?" For a second I thought she was yelling at someone behind me. Then I realized her accusing finger was pointed right at my own truck. Problem, pain. Promise, this wasn't just a nosy neighbor. This was our HOA's new security chair, a woman who believed fear gave her power. And by sundown, she'd learn what happens when someone tries to rewrite the truth on a man who still salutes his father's old flag each morning. A small shiver ran up my neck. The wind pushed the cedar fence in a slow groan, only adding to the tension creeping across my driveway. Her name wasn't known to me yet, but her posture said everything. Jaw tight, eyes wide, breathing sharp like she had rehearsed this confrontation in the mirror. "Ma'am," said, gripping my grocery list in one hand. "That's my truck," she barked back. "That's my SUV stolen last week. And you're caught red-handed." She punched 911 like she expected applause. Inside my chest something sank. Not fear, but disbelief. My father's old coffee mug sat warm in my other hand, the familiar chipped handle reminding me to breathe. Is this really happening on my own property? I looked at her again. She wasn't confused. She was certain. Too certain. Within moments, 3 porch lights clicked on. People drifted toward the sidewalk like shadows, curious for trouble. The woman kept repeating to 911 dispatch, "He stole my brand new SUV." Yes, I'm looking at it right now. I stood beside the exact vehicle my father helped me pick out 2 years earlier. Right color, right trim, right dent above the rear hitch from the time a tree limb fell during a storm. She didn't blink. She stared like someone acting out a part they'd memorized. Police arrived fast, blue lights bouncing off the barn paint on my porch. Officer Hughes stepped out, calm as ever, notebook ready. "Sir, is this your vehicle?" "Yes, officer." "Registration's inside." "He forged all that. I know this model better than anyone." Her son lingered behind her, shoulders slumped, face red. The kid looked like he wanted to sink into the asphalt. Inside my chest, a knot tightened. What game is she playing? Why me? When Hughes ran my registration, his eyebrows lifted. Everything matched VIN, name, insurance, purchase date. Yet she kept insisting, louder each time, leaning forward like she could will her lie into truth. Something in her eyes bothered me. Not panic. Not confusion. Calculation. She stepped close enough for me to see the twitch in her left eyelid, the tell people get when they're terrified of the truth coming out. Then she uttered 5 words that changed the entire tone. "I'll take this to the board." Those words hit harder than anything else. The HOA board. Her playground. I'd seen her weeks earlier hovering around the clubhouse with a stack of forms. I thought nothing of it, but now, my gut whispered the truth. She had planned this. Next morning, before I even finished sipping from my father's mug, an email arrived with a subject line that twisted my stomach. Mandatory appearance, alleged property crime. They wanted me in front of the disciplinary panel within 24 hours. My hands tightened around the mug. Cedar fence swayed outside. Even the lake behind my barn felt quieter than usual, like it sensed a storm coming. The next night, the community center felt colder than usual. Fluorescent lights flickered. Board members sat in a row like judges waiting for sentencing. She sat in the front, hands folded, smile thin as fishing line. Her psychology was obvious. Control through fear. Confidence through prepared lies. And satisfaction through the audience watching. She presented her evidence. A blurry photo of a black SUV that vaguely resembled mine. Wrong trim. Wrong bumper. Wrong year. But she sold it like gospel. Then she spoke about me with shocking precision. He leaves for long stretches. His garage is closed for days. He avoids neighborhood events. I felt a chill. How long had she been observing me? My internal thoughts swirled. Has she watched me leave for the clinic? Did she track my travel schedule? Why does she know this much? Something dark was in motion, and she wasn't working alone. After the hearing, I checked my home cameras. What I saw made my throat tighten. There she was. 3 different days, peering into my garage windows, photographing my plates, circling my truck with the attention of a locksmith studying a lock. Then I found something worse. Footage of her alongside a repairman from the garage door company. She had told him she was my property manager and needed to supervise the repair. She had been inside my garage, next to my truck, for nearly 2 hours. My pulse thumped hard. The pieces were clicking into place. The accusations weren't random. They were rehearsed. And she had taken steps to make her claim look real. 2 days later, a sheriff's deputy arrived with a search warrant. Not for a dispute. Not for verification. But for suspicion of involvement in a vehicle theft operation. She arrived minutes later, breathless with excitement. She held up a BMW key fob identical to mine. "This is my spare. He must have duplicated it." Officer Hughes looked at me like he genuinely wanted to believe the truth, but the situation had spiraled far beyond. Neighbor conflict, my internal thought hit hard. She's framing me, and she's enjoying it. The tension reached a boiling point when I casually mentioned my dash cam. Her face cracked. Just a flicker, but enough to show fear. Fear of the truth. I spent the next 2 days running diagnostics on the entire situation. By dawn of the 3rd day, I had uncovered. She had purchased an identical SUV months earlier, returned it within 72 hours, photographed every detail, used that knowledge to recognize. Mind-manipulated HOA procedures, funneled consulting fees to a family business. Forced multiple residents to sell over the past year. This wasn't about a car. It was a pattern, a profitable one. When Mrs. Branford, the widow 2 houses over, knocked on my door trembling, she confirmed everything. "That woman made my life miserable too," she whispered. Said I hid her package. Tried to have me fined. Drove out the couple before you. She does this to people. The final confirmation came from a man who lived behind my barn. He'd seen her meeting with 2 men late at night near the clubhouse. Dumpsters. One wore the same uniform as the repairman. She wasn't targeting my truck. She was targeting my home. She called an emergency HOA meeting, claiming she had new video evidence. The room filled fast, faces tight with anticipation. People expecting my downfall. She stood tall, laptop connected to the projector. The shaky video played me opening my garage door at night. Edited to look sinister. Silence gripped the room. Then I stepped forward. Let's play the full version. My footage showed her trespassing, taking photos, coaching the repairman, staging her fake search for a missing SUV. Her psychology unraveled instantly. Her breathing sped up, hands trembling, voice cracking as she tried to interrupt. People gasped. Some shouted. Then I presented HOA financial records, fake consulting contracts, for-sale patterns, surveillance evidence, dashcam logs, witness statements. The board president's face drained of color. Neighbors who once avoided me now stared at her with pure anger. 2 officers in the back stepped forward. "You're under arrest." She tried blaming a criminal syndicate, tried saying, "I hacked her accounts." Tried anything. But when she attempted to destroy her folder, a dozen hands stopped her. It was over. 6 weeks later, sat under the courthouse's tall windows as the judge read her sentence. Prison time, restitution, community ban, financial audits, permanent removal from HOA involvement. When I returned home, the lake behind my barn rippled calmly in the breeze. My cedar fence, the one my father and I rebuilt after a storm 20 years ago, cast long, peaceful shadows across the yard. I sipped coffee from his old mug and realized something important. A strong community isn't built by loud leaders. It's built by quiet people who refuse to surrender what's right. Truth doesn't shout. It stands its ground. If you've ever faced an HOA bully or a neighbor who twisted the rules, share your story below. You're not alone, and sometimes one voice is all it takes to turn the tide.